You are live. All right, so now let's try that again. How about now, folks? Can you see us now? Because we're going to need that to be able to, so we can bring in our guests and all that stuff. So hopefully, did you just take a picture of my
I did. I said to wife, I was like, she's like, I can't hear you guys. I can't see the link. And I was like,
Crystal, you're welcome.
it's like,
you are totally welcome.
I was like, I don't know, Rob screwed up something and he's bent over in front of me in his shorts fixing it. I snapped a picture.
Well, we have got it figured out now. Rob didn't hit the correct button.
Oh man, I'm gonna post it on Facebook.
You absolutely should.
Oh my God.
We figured something out. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear us? Are we live? Did I get this figured out right?
I think we're good. I think we're good now. So now we can officially say welcome to
From the Ashes Radio.
From the Ashes on About Face Radio. I am One Shot Seth. This is my friend.
Wow, look at me shooting up the chain.
After
That's
bending
awesome.
over in front of me in those shorts, I'm using that term friend loosely. The Rob.
The Rob. What's up, man? Has your week been? And we are live. Oh, and we can see all of our comments now and everything. We got the Lysol can. We're live on StreamYard. So we are live right now. If I have done this correctly. Yo, what's up, Joe Allan? Thank you for being a part of the show. Really appreciate it. So we are live right now on the Facebook page About Face Radio. We are live on YouTube, and we are live on From the Ashes Radio. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear us, let us know how we sound. Let us know if you can hear us okay. All that cool stuff. Welcome to the show, and that is the important part. We have power, we have lights, we have microphones, and we are completely live. So life is good.
And we have a flag behind us.
And we have a flag behind us. And we have a listener. So
a listener.
A listener. And that's the important. Well, on this page anyway, I can bounce from page to page. So we'll see how it goes. But long story short, we are in good shape. And we have our Lysol can. Yes, we are good. Joe Allan, how do we sound? Can you hear us okay? Anything we can do better? Are we yelling? Is our audio good? All that cool stuff. So, yeah. Hell of a weekend, huh?
Hell of a weekend.
So let's start at the beginning. Tell me about your weekend. Tell me about Friday. How did Friday go?
Friday was somewhat chill.
Cool.
It was. It really, let's see here. I picked up the kid from school, came home, started working, didn't quit working until the headlights of the tractor were on. And then went to the Robert Drysdale seminar the next day, in which, by the way, folks, I mean, dude, you already know this. Drysdale is an absolute savant in jiu-jitsu, and that was the best seminar, the best time I've ever been with him on the mat. You had
some full mats. I saw some pictures.
Yep.
And it looks like you guys had some seriously full mats. And folks came down from the Academy of Grind up north?
Academy of Grind up north in Loveland, Fulcrum in Castle Rock. We had some guys from Catharo Training Center.
Wow.
And then we had like 15 black belts on the mat.
That's insane.
Okay, so
that is insane.
Besides being in a tournament, I have never been on the mats where there was 15 black belts.
That's pretty awesome.
I like half a dozen of them I didn't even know. Well, no, I won't say half a dozen. Like 4 or 5 of them I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So it was a hell of a day, followed by me racing right back home to get back to work.
Oh yeah.
And then Sunday we had the barbecue, which you missed. But the back pasture looked like a parking lot.
Did it really?
Pretty full house yesterday, yeah. So had an amazing Academy barbecue. Good.
Lots of people. Did you get weathered out?
No, we had no weather. It was great, except for the wind. Did you notice how not windy it is today at my place?
I did, and I meant to say to you, when I pulled up to the super secret location and the underground bunker, I noticed that the windows on your truck, the back windows, are open. Is that normal?
One side is always open.
Oh, okay. Does it flood?
No.
Okay.
But one is always open when it's running, and I've been driving it almost every day for a week, so I've forgotten every once in a while.
Oh, really?
Honestly, it does not get raining on those little fold-out windows.
Really? Even when it's parked?
Yeah, even when it's parked, it doesn't.
Well, that's cool.
So,
all right. Well, Yeah, driving that a lot instead of the grocery getter.
Did you see all that landscaping I did?
I did see a lot of the landscaping.
Yeah.
Smoke Dome, Good Butt, Seth Rodenbach. So all right, cool. Like it sounds like you did well. Smoked Dome. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
Smoke Dome, Good Butt, Seth Rodenbach. Okay, cool. And I'm going to put this here so you can see some of the comments as well.
Nice. I don't have to lean forward.
Exactly right. Well, that is just tradition for me. So, if you don't know, From the Ashes Radio is sponsored by Cigars and Lysol. So thanks. if you have a friend that works for Lysol, we would like to reach out to them because, basically they are front and center. And, I wonder if that's why we do this. If it focuses on us a little bit better. It does focus on us a little bit better. Cool. A little bit.
I didn't see any difference.
Oh, well, I'm a little blurry still too. I clean. So one of my friends who works smoked some. One of my friends who works in like big radio, her name is Mandy Connell, and I'm on her show once in a while. She lets me come and play a game on her show called it's basically Jeopardy. But whatever, it doesn't matter. But she is who I look to. She often critiques our show and gives us feedback and whatnot. And her feedback for last week was clean your damn camera. So, so before the show went live, I did whatever good radio DJ does, and I took my T-shirt to the camera to clean it up a little bit. Anything good?
Yep.
Cool. So I did not get to attend any of the fun stuff this weekend with Zenith Authentic and the Drysdale seminar and all that stuff, and We Defy and all that. Which, by the way, We Defy reached out and they love the show. We have some of their commercials now programmed in. So
Nice.
We Defy likes what we're doing.
Awesome.
TJ Krautzer, I think is his name, is the marketing guy for We Defy. So he gave us permission to use all of their videos as part of the show since we promote them. And they're doing great things for veterans.
They're doing great things.
They are. If you don't know who the We Defy Foundation is, ladies and gentlemen, We Defy provides scholarships to veterans with PTSD from combat, PTSD, depression, and anxiety from combat. They will provide you with a scholarship for 1 year for you to try out jiu-jitsu and see if you like it. One of our favorite academies, Zenith Authentic, is a We Defy academy. We are promoted by We Defy. So if you're looking to try out jiu-jitsu, go to We Defy Foundation, input all your stuff, apply for a scholarship, and you can try jiu-jitsu at no cost to you for 1 year. What you'll find, a couple different things there. It's for anyone. If you are working to improve your physical fitness, if you are just looking to get to be a part of a team again, if you are looking to try jiu-jitsu out and see what it's all about, We Defy is the place. We Defy is awesome. Yes, it is, Joe Allan, and thank you. Check them out. Apply for the scholarship. Drop our names. Drop Seth Rodenbach in there. Say, hey, we heard about you on From the Ashes Radio. And we'd like to apply for a scholarship, and they will hook you up and they will give you a scholarship. So I didn't get to participate in any of the fun Zenith Jiu-Jitsu stuff this weekend because on Wednesday of this past week, I got a text message from my wife, and she's like, hey, what should we do for our anniversary? And I'm like, I don't know, whatever you want, whatever you're in the mood for.
You didn't say what day is it?
And I was like, when do you want it? And she's like, oh, we should do this, that, the other thing. I'm like, okay, cool. When do you want to do it? She's like, well, obviously this weekend. And that's when the light bulb went on. And I was like, yeah, this weekend, we should totally do that. If you need, there you go. We should totally do that this weekend. So now on Wednesday at 10 a.m., I'm scrambling to find us an Airbnb and all that stuff. We ended up going to Canyon City, Colorado. Have you ever been?
I have.
So the Royal Gorge and all that stuff. So we went glamping. Have you ever been glamping?
Yeah, like really fancy camper, no weather, AC, heat.
Exactly. Yeah. So having spent 26 years in the Army, I am against sleeping on the ground anymore. I'm not a fan. I like clean sheets. I like hotel rooms. I like breakfast buffets in the morning, obviously. Things like that. So we went to Royal Gorge campgrounds and we went glamping. And at first I was like, this is going to suck. This is going to absolutely suck. Dude, it was amazing.
Really?
Extremely palatial.
Did you get like a cabin there? Or did you have a camper?
We got a tent. They had, picture a GP Small with a king size bed in it, air conditioning, desks, electricity. It was absolutely incredible. A couch in there. It was amazing. Dwayne Johnson is what. Dwayne, thank you for being a part of the show. We really appreciate you come listening live. Love to know how we sound, what you think, how we hear us, things like that. We'd love your feedback. It was amazing. Absolutely incredible. So I tried to get us a second night, and they're like, dude, we're booked. You got lucky on this one. Somebody canceled. That's the only reason. So took her to, my wife is a big wine drinker.
Okay.
I don't, is Mrs.
No. Actually, well, the wife's not a big drinker at all.
Yeah.
I'm
not either.
I cannot fill up a hand on how many times I've been around her where she had more than 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think we had champagne at your congratulations, you got married thing. That was about it. Because we came to your wedding shower, I think that was here, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Yep. So she there's this place down in Canyon City called Holy Cross Abbey. And it's legitimately a monastery.
Okay.
Or a convent, whatever you want to call it. And so in my head, we're going there, and nuns in black with white habits and whatnot are going to be serving us wine and stuff like that. Monks with the belts, the rope, brown robes. That's not even close to accurate.
Okay.
They have high school kids and whatnot serving. I was like, this isn't even close to what I pictured in my head. This is kind of lame, man. But it was really good. She likes their wine, so we spent probably 2 hours there. $10, and if I'm lying, I'm dying. We got 19 different samples of wine.
Oh.
That's what I said. Afterwards, we had to go to Wendy's and get a bucket of fries just to kind of, we should not be driving around. And we walked over to they have a prison museum there, which I know sounds super lame. All this stuff, when you hear about it and when you talk about it, it sounds lame, but I promise you folks, it was excellent. We had a really, really good time. Other than there was no nun serving me wine. Other than that, it was super cool. Sage Shelton is watching. Well, thank you for listening in, Sage. I appreciate it. Hey, if you can, by all means, let us know how we sound. Give us some feedback. If you can see us, tell us what you think. And please, by all means, participate. If you have a comment, we'd love to hear it. So that was Saturday during the day. And Saturday night, she had booked a first-class rail car train ride on the Santa Fe, on the Royal Gorge train. Mm-hmm. And we went through the Royal Gorge by train. Again, I am not like Sheldon Cooper from whatever that show is with all the geeks. But it was super cool. I'm talking first class, prime rib, drinks, the whole bit. It was pretty cool. And unbeknownst to us, so we're sitting there shooting the breeze, because it's just like what you picture in the Johnny Cash song, with Folsom blues. Mm-hmm. It's hear the train a-coming and all that.
Yep.
It was exactly that. It was just like that. And and because you're in town with all the prisons and whatnot, I couldn't get that song out of my head. But I love Johnny Cash, so that's okay.
I don't know if you know this, but I kind of like Johnny Cash.
A little bit. I've heard. Here, our super secret location is decorated with Johnny Cash memorabilia, folks, if you're not aware. What do you call it? Unbeknownst to us, we were partying with the owners of the railway.
Really?
They were there for one of their big employees was also having a birthday, and she was walking around with a birthday queen sash on and a crown, and we partied like rock stars.
That's cool.
It was super cool. So right outside the dining car, where we're eating dinner and hors d'oeuvres and drinks and all that stuff, they have what you would picture as a cattle car. It's an open air train car, and you walk out there, and while the train is chugging across down the tracks along the I think it's the Arkansas River, you're just standing out there on the train while it's chugging along the tracks, having a drink and shooting the breeze with people and whatnot. And you're going through the Royal Gorge, and it was super cool, dude. It's 20 miles to the end, and all they do is flip it around. It's kind of cool because the conductor walks through the train.
Yeah.
It flips around and it just starts going the other direction. So now it's 9:00 at night, and you're on the train in the dark, which is even cooler, which you wouldn't, again, I realize this sounds super lame, but it was super cool. And they bring the train to a stop underneath the Royal Gorge Bridge. And if you've never been in a place that black and looked up the stars and the sky in southern Colorado, it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
We are very lucky with where we live. Our state is absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely.
I like it a lot. So it was very impressive. Tonight, in about probably 40 minutes or so, we are going to have Robert Allan on. He is with, I believe he's the founder of Cigars for Warriors. You ever been deployed and like your whole team gets like a big box full of cigars from someplace?
I'm back in the Vietnam era.
Yeah,
We got baby wipes, toilet paper, and toothpaste. I mean, like,
we were deployed after or before things like salsa night and green beans coffee and all that
before
stuff.
Kandahar had a Burger King.
Exactly.
Yes.
When I was in, which brings another point, but we'll talk about that in a second. They basically send cigars to like big boxes of cigars to deployed soldiers, which was, I think, is just super cool. It's an excellent. When my team lost those, the first 3 guys that we lost to an aircraft crash, one of the things we did is we would have coffee time every night, and we would basically like everybody comes hang out by my helicopter, and my crew chief, who was a coffee connoisseur, would brew up coffee for everybody. And it started off with like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And it turned into like, we'd have like 30 people, the commander, the first sergeant, all coming out and just bringing out their chair. We're in between missions. They'd sit down and we'd have coffee together. And it was a very cool, not just bonding experience, but it gave people the opportunity to sit there and like talk about some of the stuff that was going on in combat and kind of vent about what was going on. What is the YouTube link? I guess try mine. So search Rob Williams and see if, or robsandy@gmail, which is my civilian personal email. Search that and see if we're broadcasting right now on YouTube. Craig, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. We have 7 listeners right now, which I'm pretty happy about. And I think that was a really good thing for people to kind of just sit and shoot the breeze and talk about what was going on and vent a little bit and chill out at the end of the day. So the Cigars for Warriors thing, I think it's an excellent thing for people that are deployed right now. So when I heard about it, I immediately reached out to them and had them start sending cigars to all my friends that were deployed. And they sent like big boxes of cigars, like a company's worth of cigars to like small teams for friends of mine and whatnot. I thought it was pretty cool of them.
I feel like the 2 most appreciated things are cigars and beef jerky.
Right?
Not necessarily beef jerky. Something to eat, tastes good. It's not an MRE.
Yeah.
And I got some protein.
Yeah.
You know? Oh.
Did you get shipped any tragedies while you were deployed? Did you
tragedies?
So Sandy, my lovely wife, sent me a 1-gallon bag of chocolate covered peanuts when I was in Iraq the first time. So when you get a 1-gallon bag of chocolate covered peanuts, what you have is chocolate soup.
I was already knowing where that went.
So basically we cut one corner off the bottom of the bag and we just kind of passed it around and squeezed out like toothpaste, chocolate soup for everybody. Cause it melted pretty quick. It was well-intentioned. It just didn't execute well. So,
no, I didn't get any tragedies. No,
nothing like that. You get a lot of beef jerky, a lot of,
yeah.
Are you the guy that doesn't eat the charms? We've had this conversation before.
I always ate the charms.
Yeah.
Just to piss off people.
Stand in a group and just throwing charms in your mouth and pissing off all the privates. That's awesome.
In the rain. I'm like, I know, and I'm going to laugh.
One of the things in the news this week, just recently, that caught my eye. So you joined after September 11th, which is absolutely
September
perfect.
12th.
Yep, exactly. So I joined, one of my first deployments was to Kosovo when Slobodan Milosevic was ethnic cleansing. And he was basically murdering all of the people in his nation. And we kicked the shit out of him. I swear to God, I got t-shirts that say, NATO bomb my country, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. This is like Bill Clinton era, I believe, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Kosovo was my first deployment. And basically that place was a wreck. I don't know if have you ever been to the Balkans? You're not missing much. Bosnia, Kosovo, all that place. Jimmy Davis, if you're listening, I know you know what I'm talking about. And probably 4 or 5 years ago, my crew chief went on a ski trip to Kosovo because, like, we make the joke that one day in Iraq and Afghanistan, there's going to be like,
A resort.
Disneyland in Iraq. Well, this is what happened in Kosovo. It legitimately, like, ski resorts and vacation era and all that cool stuff.
Okay.
Well, just recently, it came out that Kosovo is starting its war again against the Serbians.
Okay.
And that pisses me off to no end. I hate that we go into these countries and we start it up and we start a war, or we end a war, is what we did. It stopped that bastard from ethnic cleansing. And here we are, 2022, and that war is kicking off again. And that really pisses me off because it starts to make you feel like, did we waste all of our time deployed? I wish you didn't answer so quickly.
Well, I mean, you're like, did we waste our time? So I was just thinking about our amazing pull out of Afghanistan recently. And that's where I spent a good chunk of my time at. And me and a lot of brothers shed a lot of blood there. And some of us, some people didn't come back still, with a beating heart. And then I see the craziness from our just absolutely idiotic pullout. I can
when that
easily say that.
pullout first started, I mean, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Like, I keep my phone on at all times just in case somebody needs to get a hold of me. So it's on all hours of the night. And I didn't get any sleep those first few nights that we pulled out of Afghanistan because I got messages from a lot of people that were feeling really beat down.
Yeah.
Really beat down. Because, hey, we spent 20 some odd years there, 20 plus years there, and basically we just handed it back, and now the Taliban is back in power.
It's if anything worse.
It's significantly worse. I agree.
It's not.
And
All in one day too. We're like, okay, we've made some progress. Let's see if we can screw this up in one split second.
and it
really was. It was like a split second. We went from protecting some people to
building schools, educating women, helping them set up a government, all that stuff. And then on the way out the door, by the way, here they're going to kick us in the ass, and they killed 13 American soldiers. And so it was a tough time for a lot of people. Mutual friends of ours, people that you and I talk to on a daily, we're having a really hard time with it, and it sucks. It sucks a lot. So
it's a big pill to swallow.
Yeah, and just nothing good came from that. It just demonstrates that. Politicians can't get it done, and when they can't get it done, they put it on people like us and our ilk. The whole what is that song? The Vietnam song that everybody listens to is part of the Hueys. Fortunate Son.
Mm-hmm.
So how is combat flip-flop still getting in the stand for schools? Craig Stackwitz, that's an excellent question, and I wish I knew the answer. I don't know that they are. Funny you say that. I happen to be wearing my combat flip-flops as we speak. For those that don't know what Craig Stackwitz is talking about, combat flip-flops, one of our old sponsors, and we're working to get them back on board as well with the new Fortunate Son. Thank you, Craig. Combat flip-flops, still go to their website, buy a pair of flip-flops, get yourself some shoes. Combat flip-flops, what they do is for the shoes were made in Colombia by local nationals, and every pair of shoes that you purchased, a portion of that went to fund schools for girls in Afghanistan. And what happened is something like 2% of girls in Afghanistan could read at the start of the American War. Once combat flip-flops and the United States government started building girls' schools, the literacy rate of girls' schools there in Afghanistan shot up to 21% of the overall population. And that's why those organizations thrive over there, because they keep their population uneducated, so that some jerk off reads the Quran and reads his version of the Quran because people couldn't read it for themselves because they couldn't read. And that's how they're able to maintain power, is they keep their masses uneducated. And with combat flip-flops building schools and educating women and doing the right thing. That's the way to fight wars these days, as far as I'm concerned, is educate the populace and make them realize that that dictator that they've got in power is a raging asshole and not doing anything good for your country. Just my humble 2 cents. Yeah, some would say ours is in the same position right now. But yeah, still go to Combat Flip Flop, support what they're doing. They also support the One Wave Foundation. If you don't know what that is, they take veterans with PTSD, depression, anxiety, amputees, things like that, and they put them on surfboards and they teach them how to surf. Can you surf? I mean, you spent long enough in Hawaii.
I'm not good. I can get up on the board and I can cruise it all the way back into the beach. That's how I surf.
Really?
I go out as far as I possibly can. Okay, well, there's still waves.
Yeah.
Furthest way back.
Not quite shark bait, but
I
not quite.
catch one and I ride it all the way in and then I still on the beach.
And I'm guessing it's super fun.
It is pretty fun.
I have always wanted to learn how to surf, and we've only been to Hawaii one time, and I've never been able to. We just couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
We had so many other appointments and things we were doing that
Don't let your buddy take you.
Why is that,
dude? So the first time I surfed, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's great." And he'd been surfing for a couple of years, and I didn't surf the first couple of years in Hawaii. I'm like, okay. So he gives me, they talk about the longboard.
Mm-hmm.
They cruise around on it.
Okay.
He gave me like a little stunt one, a little shorty, and we went to North Shore where the faces are like 20-foot faces, not back of the wave. I mean the face, which is much. Dude, that's a monster wave.
Okay.
So I got up on the board. I wish I wouldn't have gotten up.
Why?
Because it was terrible. Dude, I was eating rock and I was bashed up, heads bleeding all over. And I'm like, you enjoy doing this? And he's like, yeah, well, I don't do that. And I'm like, well, F.
That is our friends, yes.
And so I did not want to surf for a while. And then I met this young lady that was a local, really liked to surf. And she taught me how to surf on a longboard. And I was like, oh, this is nice.
Is it hard to do? I mean,
no, it's really not. As long as you're in like, respectable sized waves, and then have a decent sized board. I mean, after I got to ride a little bit, I started riding different kinds of boards. But yeah, get on a long board, a 2-foot wave, kind of get the feeling of, about you, and then go surf. Don't.
Did you ride a skateboard growing up?
Yes.
Yeah,
I was very much into it.
Yeah, I used to ride a skateboard back and forth to work when I was a kid. So, because I couldn't afford a car. Yeah. So, but I thought, I figured, hey, surfing would be easy. So, surfing is something I've always wanted to do and just haven't had the chance to. So, Rob needs a 15-foot board to surf. Craig Stackowitz, can you surf? That's kind of, I've known you for years and I never knew that you knew how to surf. That's kind of cool. I like that. So, yeah. Yes. What's a normal longboard? What's a board length?
I don't know. Probably 10, 12 feet. 10.
Oh, okay. So
I honestly don't know.
Well, you said you started on a short one. How long?
It was like 5 or 6 feet. It was shorter than I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not by a lot, but.
Because I've what do they call that? Boogie boarded?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, we did that when we were in Texas. That is a lot of fun.
That was a ton of fun.
That's a good time. I'm not like doing tricks and stuff, but I mean, I can get in and out. So yeah, okay.
I'm not going to lie. My boogie board from Hawaii is out of my shipping container.
Really?
Yeah, it's because I spent money and got like a really nice one because I really like doing it a lot. So I am in landlocked Colorado with a boogie board in my shipping container.
Craig Cyrus, Colorado is a great place to surf. Maybe not so much, but Wyoming, oddly enough, you can surf in Wyoming in some of those rivers. And people do surf in Colorado. You make jokes, but if you go to some of the rivers, there are people surfing in
Waterworld.
And no, there are some, like if you go to some of the rivers here in Colorado, people do surf the rivers, which I didn't know that was a thing either. And that's probably not where I'm going to start. I'll wait till we go on vacation to like Florida or something, and I'll try surfing there. So, but so yeah. And Craig Stackowitz, I agree that an educated population is a dangerous population. I agree completely. It's dangerous to those in power. So, yeah, let's keep that up. If we can continue to, having been deployed to combat, I now believe that the best way to end a war and end a dictatorship is through education. So, and I think combat flip-flops has really proved that.
I feel like education and armed civilians.
I agree. Although, but in Afghanistan, isn't everybody's armed there anyway? Like we did the opposite in Iraq. We took everybody who was weapons away. No, tell me something different.
I mean, I feel like anybody can be armed because there's just caches all over the place because they've been at war forever.
Yeah, literally since the Alexander the Great.
But what I came to find out during the time I was there, at least, is all the bad guys had guns, or the people that like the militias. I'm just going to call them militia, but like the local police or whatever that we helped train and put them into work.
So I thought everybody in Afghanistan had a gun.
Yes and no. Usually, if I saw somebody with a gun, I assumed they were a bad guy.
Oh, really?
Not because I was just saying they're all bad. Just
no, I get you.
usually.
Good guys didn't have them.
I didn't see a lot of that. No.
Okay, but I agree.
It was the good guys that had them. They were part of the Afghani police or Afghan National Guard or whatever they call them.
But we are on the same page there. That an armed populace is a polite populace.
Yes.
And I do agree with that. Yeah. The whole good guy with a gun versus bad guy with a gun thing.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate for that as well. Yeah. So, Allie, oddly enough, Allie and I talk a little bit during the week, and she sends us stories and things that she finds interesting. And Allie will be on the show later in just a little while, folks. She'll be up right after our interview with Robert Allan. She sent me this story, and Craig, I'm looking to hear your opinion on this as well. In Canada, I guess they obviously have a VA as well. I don't know if it's anything close to ours, but the article she found talked about how in Canada they had a veteran with PTSD who was suicidal, and his healthcare provider recommended assisted suicide, like doctor-assisted suicide.
Really?
Yeah, dude, your reaction is what exactly? She sent me the article, and I'm like, there's no way I'm reading this right. There's got to be more. And I read the article, and no, there wasn't more. That was the story.
I
agree.
I like a lot of these Earth is flat people, but that's as hard for me to believe as that the Earth is flat.
Can you imagine going to the VA and you're like, I'm not doing so good. My PTSD is acting up. Well, here, why don't we walk you over to the assisted suicide wing, and they're going to sit you in a chair, and we're going to put you out of your misery.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I used to think our VA system was messed up. That's craziness.
Yeah. Well, let's start at the beginning. Our VA system is messed up.
Yes, it is extremely. That definitely sets the gold standard.
Do you go there for your healthcare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to call it.
Well, you and I have been friends for years, and we've rolled a few times, and a few times, you've commented when we were working like drills and stuff. You're like, holy shit, your hips are really tight, and like it caught you by surprise how jacked up that my hips were.
Tight, I don't believe is the word I used. That's what I say to most people that are unflexible. Yours don't move. Like they're locked. Like they, yeah. I
agree with that. And so someone very close to me works in radiology, and she works in that field, and she's looked at a few of my x-rays and MRIs and things like that. And she's like, dude, your hips are trashed. They're bone on bone. There's no cartilage there. They're arthritic. They don't move. So after I was in Wisconsin, beginning of this month, when I got done, I was, working all day, every day, on my feet. And by the end of the day, every day, I could barely walk. It was horrible. I was in horrible pain. And she's been encouraging me like, hey, it's time to go. And even Roz has been talking to me like, hey, it's time to go get those things replaced. And I've done all the physical therapy. I've done, I'm big into yoga now. I do a lot of yoga, try to kind of loosen things up, because that comment is what caught my attention. It was like, maybe I should start doing something about this. So I took up yoga. I was hoping that jujitsu would be the thing that would loosen my hips up.
Murder yoga.
But it's, yeah, exactly. But it instead, all it did was highlight the problem, not make it better. So that's why I took up the whole yoga thing. So I had my appointment this week, and today actually, and it was I went and saw my doctor last week, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we need to get you in. Here's a appointment for surgery, a pre-surgical consult." Okay, cool. I guess we're doing this. Let's do it. So I had that today, and I saw a retired Army physician's assistant. I much prefer to see a PA or a nurse practitioner over a doctor. No offense to any doctors in the audience. And he's like, "Look, man," he's like, "you need surgery, but we have to check the boxes first. So we have to go through all this train wreck first." And so I have to do like a year of injections, a year of all this other stuff before the VA is going to be like, "Yep, thumbs up, you're ready to get them surgically replaced." And I'm like, if that's the thing, why aren't we just jumping right to the thing? Why aren't we just fixing this?
I have a personal story immediately because I'm about to have knee surgery. Did you know that?
I didn't, but keep talking.
Okay, so do you remember when I injured my knee?
I very much remember when you injured your knee.
We're almost at a year.
Matthew Mapes, thank you for listening to the show. I really appreciate it. Matthew Mapes is my old commander, so
very cool,
good guy. So yeah, keep talking.
So I go in, I call my PCP, who's been my PCP for 13 years. He knows I don't like to take pills, so unless I'm having surgery, I need 2 days worth of Vicodin. I just hate pills.
We're on the same page.
He knows that if I call him and tell him I have an injury, that there's legitimately an injury. I'm not like, I get my muscles sore.
Yeah,
all right.
Exactly.
So I call him like, "Hey, so remember when I tore my meniscus on my left knee?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I tore my meniscus on my right knee." And he's like, "Where?" And I described everything to him. He's like, "I know what you did. Same thing you did the other one." And I was like, "It's the exact same."
That's the only time I've seen legitimate pain.
Oh yeah, I was not doing good. So I go, "Hey, so how can we speed this up? Because we know it's a minor surgery, et cetera, et cetera." And he's like, I'm gonna put you in for an MRI immediately. X-ray and MRI. So within a few weeks, I had an MRI, X-ray, everything was ready. He calls me up and he goes, "Hey, you have a significant tear in your meniscus. Immediately need to be scoped. I'm recommending you to ortho." I go to ortho.
What you do?
They're like, "PT." I'm like, "PT after you fix it. You can't PT a meniscus back together."
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page. Keep talking.
So then the VA put me, and then I have to go to community care because I live so far from the VA. They have to give me a physiotherapist that I can get to regularly.
Which you already know.
So then I go
pedaling
through
the bike is a waste of your time.
Yes. And my PT said the same thing. They're like, you got to fix that, and then we give you PT. We can feel it. So anyway, through all this other stuff, then I have to wait for community care. I get through PT. The PT is like, he needs more PT, but he needs to have his knee first and updated films. They send all this stuff. So finally I go in the VA on Friday. On Friday I was in there.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Oh, does that hurt? I can feel the click in there." And they can still catch me. I'm like, yeah.
Stop doing that. It hurts.
And he kept doing it. And he's like, the only way to do is if we could do surgery. I'm like, I told you this day one. Scope it. Let me hit PT. I would be 100% recovered and ready to go right now. But instead, we wasted a bunch of money, bunch of time, and I've been a broke dick since January. Dude, ridiculous.
So I'm the inverse of that. My doctor, I've been getting seen at the VA and for my hips for about a year now. She does not touch me. She won't put her hands on me to examine me. She's like, "Oh, can you kick your leg?" "Yep." "Can you do this with your leg?" "Yep." But she will never ever actually. And I'm used to not being touched by a woman. I get that. But
I was on such comment overload. I didn't know which one I was going to say. So I'm glad you said one.
I'm used to a woman refusing to touch me. I get that. But it's super weird for my doctor to not be willing to put her hands on me to examine me. So whereas yours is manipulating your stuff and checking you out and, "Hey, does this hurt?" Mine is like across the room typing. I went there last week, and if I'm lying, I'm dying, dude. I walked out of there with 6 new prescriptions for fish oil. They have sent me a 5-gallon bucket of fish oil. And I'm like,
how did you get them to give you fish oil? I have to.
Do you need some? I've got plenty.
I have to Amazon that stuff.
dude, yeah. So 6 prescriptions. And I'm like, and my wife comes home and they're all on the bathroom sink. And she's like, what the hell is this? It's our pharmacy. Welcome to it, you know? And but none of, you know, it took till today when I went and saw ortho and I'm like, can I get some pain medicine? They're like, oh yeah, sure. We can do that. Are you taking Tylenol? No, because that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it brings me to my point that I have decided that I am going to run for president of the United States.
Can I be your VP?
No, you are way too good a man to be in politics. Absolutely not. You would be my campaign manager. But
because that takes I think that's even disgusting.
But I'm going to run on only one thing. I don't know anything about our economy. I don't know anything about jobs or increasing jobs or national. Well, maybe a little bit about national security. Everybody gets a gun. It will be issued to you when you get your driver's license. I'm running on one thing, and that is to abolish the Department of Veterans Affairs. The Department of Veterans Affairs.
You know how many?
Will be one guy in an office in Washington, D.C., and he will be incredibly bored. He's going to look like the guy from Office Space. I believe you have my stapler. That is going to be him. He's going to be in an office in the basement with one desk and a phone that's not plugged in.
Okay.
We're not giving him a phone, and we're just putting it all back out on the economy. Congratulations, because veterans are 1% of the population.
Yeah.
The medical system can absorb us.
Yes.
Congratulations. We are putting the veteran population back out onto the economy, and we are taking all of the VA hospitals, and we are, I don't care what we do with them. We're turn them into car washes because it doesn't work. It's not working. I'm glad you have had a slightly better experience than I have. I have not had that. So yeah.
I don't think I've had it. I haven't had I mean, they've never recommended me to go to the assisted suicide wing.
No kidding, dude. Can you imagine?
But I have not. I have had almost no good experiences. My PCP has gotten to know me a little bit, and you know, we do okay. He doesn't do anything great. I said okay.
Yeah,
that's it.
Checks the blocks. He knows you. You have a reputation. Yeah, mine. She won't touch me. She won't put her. She will not examine me.
Odd.
I'm like, how are you a physician and you won't examine your patient? Why do you have the stethoscope around your neck if you're not going to listen to my heart and my lungs? What's it there for? Is it a decoration? I mean, yeah. Do I intimidate you or something? Why? What? And at this point, I like live play it with my wife while I'm in the office. I'm like, yep, get new prescriptions. Yep, still hasn't touched me. All right, she says we're done. Says I'm fat and I should lose weight. Yeah, no kidding. Thanks, doc. You know, I'm like, it's super disconcerting. We're not doing so. And here's the thing. So I get 6 new prescriptions, and that's, I mean, for me, it's nothing exciting. They're nothing all that, you know, it's like blood pressure medication and stuff. Okay, whatever. Our cities, like the city of Denver, if you go anywhere near the VA, there are tons of homeless camps all around the VA.
Yes.
And all around that area. And the whole neighborhood and the highway around it looks like it's just a homeless camp around there. Mm-hmm. Homelessness is not the problem in our city. Addiction is. All of those people are addicted to something, and that is why they are homeless. And I'm willing to bet that they got a prescription for Vicodin, and then it stopped working. It wasn't taking away their pain anymore, and then the snowball picked up speed, and now they're on.
I mean,
drugs.
I hate even using this word, but I mean, I feel like most of them is not due to the economy and it's so hard to get an apartment. No, it's because there's a mental health and addiction issue. Because all of them, I don't see all of them like,
yeah.
The vast majority of that population, I have not met one in a different case that didn't have mental health issues and an addiction issue. Yeah, they go hand in hand.
I agree completely, and we're on the same page there.
Which I have compassion for. I'm not saying I don't, but it is what it is.
And we're not addressing the problem. We're not fixing the problem.
No, I was frustrated this morning just on that exact topic because they were talking about this new fund because there's homeless people because of the economy and it's just too expensive to rent an apartment. I'm like, no, it's because heroin's a lot more fun than a roof over your head, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mentally unstable people have troubles keeping a job.
PTSD and depression and anxiety. And so, just as an example, for a very short time, for 6 months, I worked at the Department of Veterans at the VA in the Denver metro area. And so I thought this gave me an inside line to folks, and I was good. Well, we have a friend who reached out to me who's in a bad way. He's like, hey, and I've told this story a couple times. Hey, you know, I might hurt myself. I'm not in a good place. I want to talk to somebody. I'm like, hey, man, come here, meet me at the VA. You and I are going to walk up to mental health together, and we're going to get this fixed. And we're going to get you to see somebody. So homeboy shows up, and this happened like 2 or 3 times to people. We walk up to the mental health floor, and I'm like, hey, this is my buddy Bob. He's having some hard times. He's a veteran, and he'd like to get some help. Well, we have some group classes that we can get him into in the next 3 or 4 months. And I'm like, no, homeboy needs help today. Now. He needs help. He wants to talk to some mental health professional now. Well, you can bring him down to the ER, and like, yeah, and homeboy's going to get committed for 72 hours and not lose his job, and he's not. Yeah, it's not going to happen. And yeah, so again, they're not.
I love their just go to the ER. That is, I've never been anywhere in my life where they like, we just can't get you in the next 3 months. So just go down to the ER. It's not an emergency. Like, it is an emergency, but like the ER isn't for that. Life, limb, eyesight, ER, right? That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
life, limb, eyesight.
You get stabbed in the chest. You're having chest pain. You break a leg. That's what the ER is for. Not, I want to talk to someone. I need a counselor. If you're in crisis, by all means, dial 998 and talk to someone and get that fixed and get the help that you need. Don't misrepresent or misunderstand the things that we're trying to say. But yeah, why can I not walk? You have a whole mental health department. They are professionals. That is what they do. Hey, how do you not have a mental health professional sitting in an office like with an open schedule waiting for someone to come in so you can talk to them and get the ball rolling? All this person wanted, or these people wanted, was to get the ball rolling and start the process. They didn't want to go to the ER and potentially get committed to wearing a straight jacket in a rubber room for the next 72 hours. Yeah. They just wanted to talk to somebody and get a few things off their chest, but you can't do that. No. We say it all the time, ladies and gentlemen. No one is coming. It's up to us. We have to save ourselves because no one is coming for us to help us. We as veterans have to take care of each other. That is by far and away the most important thing. Take care of each other. And I do the 22 push-ups a day. Do that because you're bringing attention to it. Do the 22 squats. Ruck your 22 miles. Whatever it may be, bring attention to it. But in 2024, for the presidential election, vote Rod Williams. I will abolish the VA at the day that I am sworn into office. And I put my hand on that Bible, raise my right hand, and someone says, repeat after me. The next words will be, I want to talk to the director of the Department of Veterans Affairs. Congratulations, you are unemployed, and everyone underneath you is unemployed. You're done. That will be my first act as president of the United States.
I love it.
It's going to happen. And I will wear Ranger panties and this hat to work every single day.
Nice.
So,
oh, man. Ranger panties and that hat.
Some of the comments we got back from like Joe Allan. I had to wait 9 months for them to replace my ACL and MCL. Waiting sucks. Almost a full year to get your ACL fixed.
Yeah, ACL and MCL. I don't know, for those of you out there that don't understand the knee very well, I understand it fairly well.
Because you reap them constantly.
I've damaged every ligament in both knees at some level, and my meniscus, and I mean, I've got bone chips in there before. I mean, I've done some knee stuff. If you don't have a functioning ACL and MCL, you don't have that appendage, the entire thing is useless, basically.
You can't run. You can't walk. You can't, if you have a job
that requires anything besides laying in bed,
you can't do it.
No. So, yeah.
And let's say that you get out of the Army. Congratulations, you're a police officer now, and you wreck your ACL or your ACL or your knee injury from that you're service connected to finally decides to start creeping up on you again. And the VA is supposed to, you can't do your job as a cop. You can't do your job as a firefighter, a construction worker, any of those things. Your inability to treat the veteran population, A, is wrecking our economy, and B, you're ruining lives. You are flat out killing veterans because you and I are well adjusted. We are not the typical disgruntled vet. But I mean, and we have a good support network.
Depends on the day.
Yeah, exactly. It very much does. But I mean, we can work our way. There are some people that this is not something they can work through. And so now you start thinking of like, hey, maybe the world will be better off without me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where this veteran suicide thing is
causing mental health issues.
I agree completely.
You don't think that waiting for a year or close to a year for a freaking knee surgery isn't mentally challenging?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm functional right now with my meniscal tear. This is a minor knee thing. But for almost a year, I haven't been able to do my normal day all day, every day. Like I own a ranch.
And you have a
I have
job
stuff to do.
where you physically teach people things.
And I have a kid, and I need to be a parent to a toddler, which is also known as a 4-foot terrorist.
Yes, he is. I love that kid. Where is he? Where is my...
I don't know. I need to check on him.
A little too quiet for you?
Go upstairs. There's going to be an entire Nerf assault set up.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now is a perfect time because we've got like 5 minutes before Robert Allan comes on.
We'll
Why don't you go
take a
check out? And this is going to give me a chance to see if I know how to play commercials on this thing. We're going to find out right now because I got a couple of commercials I'd like to play.
So we'll be right back.
Yeah, we will be right back.
Cool. Maybe we'll stay right here because Rob won't figure out the...
We're going to find out right this second. Let's do this one. Hell yeah, I like that one. Let's do this one.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This is the Second Amendment of the United States of America's Constitution. This Second Amendment, the right of law-abiding Americans to privately own and possess firearms, is under attack like no other time in America's history. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have pledged to take away your Second Amendment rights through gun bans, gun confiscations, and government regulations. Even a gun tax. Do not take this lying down. The time to take action and fight to protect your Second Amendment rights is now. Join the Second Amendment Foundation, the oldest and largest nonprofit foundation focused on protecting your Second Amendment rights. For more information, to join, or to donate, visit saf.org.
When my baby girl was diagnosed with depression, I didn't think it was a real disease. I didn't get her any medication or therapy because I thought she would grow out of it. I wish I'd helped my baby. Depression is a disease, and there is hope.
We can help. Find out more.
Paralyzed Veterans of America helps people with disabilities, veterans and civilians alike, regain their independence and move forward in life. Since 1946, Paralyzed Veterans of America is a leading steadfast advocate for quality health care, spinal cord research and education, veterans benefits, and civil rights for paralyzed veterans and all people with disabilities, and offers support for caregivers. PVA's mission? To empower America's brave men and women to regain what they fought for, their freedom and independence. If you are a disabled veteran seeking support, or if you are a veteran or civilian and you wish to give support, call Paralyzed Veterans of America today, toll-free at 1-800-424-8200. or visit pva.org. That's 1-800-424-8200 or online at pva.org.
I lost someone on my crew, but not on the job. The risk has always been there, even before we had a name for it. If you were struggling, you just had to suck it up and move on. But not today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to From the Ashes Radio. How'd I do on the commercials, folks? I'm guessing you probably saw me mashing buttons in between commercials. That's okay. Your work. Yep, works, commercials. Excellent. They work and you can see them. I will always start and end our commercials with the Motorcycle Relief Project. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not familiar with what the Motorcycle Relief Project does, they take, and I am an official hype man for the Motorcycle Relief Project. I did go on several rides along with a bunch of my friends. I'm going to get this dude on a ride before too long. We take veterans with PTSD, depression, and anxiety that is combat related, as well as first responders. Every year in September, they do a first responders ride. It usually coincides with the anniversary of September 11th. Motorcycle Relief Project takes veterans with PTSD, depression, and anxiety, puts them on adventure motorcycles, and they ride during the day. It's based here in Colorado. They ride motorcycles during the day. You'll do a little bit of on-road. You'll do a little bit of off-road, all kinds of great rides. You'll do Skyline Drive. You'll do Phantom Canyon Road, all kinds of cool stuff. You'll ride with 8 to 10 of your peers. And in the evenings, they're going to do workshops with you. You're going to sit down and you're going to, Mike Ab is watching. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate you being here. They're going to do workshops on getting back with your family, battling your demons, working your way through those kind of things. Nothing but good stuff is going to come from it. Go to motorrelief.org. You'll see the section for veterans. Fill out the application. Say, hey, I was watching this horrible radio show called From the Ashes. They talked about you guys a lot. Check them out by all means. So now I'm going to do this for the first time. I'm going to bring on a guest. We're going to talk to Robert Allan, and let's see how if I can do this correctly. Hey, it worked. Holy crap, I did it.
It works.
Robert Allan.
The question is, can you guys hear and see me?
I can hear and see you perfectly. And you
Okay, the reason why I'm asking is I'm outside in a shed man cave and I'm using a Wi-Fi extender. So I didn't know if it was going to be strong enough to do this.
Right this second, I can hear you perfectly. You sound great and you look great.
Okay, thank you.
And you can hear us okay?
Fantastic.
Perfect. So we are without our producer this evening. So I am driving this train wreck myself. So we're going to get this figured out. Robert Allan with Cigars for Warriors. You and I have been friends on Facebook for a very long time. I love your organization and what you do. I've reached out to you a bunch of times to have you send cigars to JSOC buddies that are deployed to undisclosed locations. And you have always come through, and I've gotten nothing but great feedback from it. So welcome to From the Ashes Radio. I can't thank you enough for taking a part of your Monday night away from your family to be a part of this show. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me and bringing some information out.
So let's start at the beginning. First of all, are you a veteran, sir? Did I lose you? You still there, Robert? Oh, we froze up. So I don't think that Robert is a veteran. He could correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't believe that he is. Yes, Lima Charlie. Excellent.
Give me a second here.
Yes, I got you now. You still there? I got you back now, Robert. Can you hear me?
Okay, a little bit better now?
Yeah, it's perfect, man. We got you. You're perfect. So let's start at the beginning. Robert, are you a veteran?
Right. Yes, I am a veteran. I served in the Army from 87 to 91. My MOS was 29 Juliet, which most people probably don't know and don't remember. Back in the 80s, they were still using teletypewriters before the computers. So I was a teletypewriter repairman.
Nice.
served in Panama, Honduras, did I think right there, jump school picture back there. Served my 4 years, and that was enough for me in the Army.
Please tell me that you jumped into Panama with a typewriter in your rucksack.
So I was serving in Panama at the time, and they had a sign down there for MOSs that needed to go to jump school. And I saw mine, and I'm like, sure, I'll go to jump school. So left Panama. I was there for about a year and a half during the Panamanian invasion, Noriega. Came back to the States, did jump school, did my jumps, graduated, and then they're like, oh, we don't need your MOS anymore. I'm like, okay, I'll take the wings.
That's outstanding. All right. Well, cool. Well, thank you for your service to your nation. I sincerely appreciate that. We were just talking about jump school and hip pain and ankle pain and knee pain, so you're in good company.
The first time I did the PLF, the first jump, I hit the ground and I was like, shit, that hurt.
That's pretty much the consensus. I had a guy in jump school that got tangled up in his suspension lines and landed on his back on his first jump. Walked off the field and he was like, I'm not doing this. This is dumb. I'm never doing this again. And I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you, guy.
Yeah.
So tell us about the birth of Cigars for Warriors. How long has it been around?
It's been 10 years as of this May. So how it was originally formed was I came into the organization about 3 months after it was formed. So I've been with the organization now for 10 years. I'm on the board of directors. I'm director of logistics. So it was basically born through our chief chairman of the board, Storm Bowen. Storm Bowen served in the Middle East during that time period. At the end of the day, what he would do would sit around with the other members, take rank off, have a cigar, excuse me, and decompress. So when he got out of the service, he still wanted to do that. So with all the groups that are in Facebook, all the different cigar groups, you have one that's called CATS, Cigar Aficionado Trade and Sales. Excuse me one second. Went down the wrong pipe. A little water.
Cool.
So Storm Bowen created a group in Facebook 10 years ago called CATS, Cigar Aficionado Trade and Sales. You can't do the trading sales, none of that anymore within the last couple of years. But about 10 years ago, they had their first get together, and it was here in Florida. And at that time, Storm and several other members of the CATS group wanted to be able to provide back, being veterans, do the same thing that he did while he was serving in the Middle East and provide, a taste of home, some comfort, some moral support. So they partnered with a different organization at the time, at the very beginning. Unfortunately, things weren't and the up and up with the organization that he was affiliated with. So it didn't take long for him to figure out that he wanted to do it the right way. So Cigars for Warriors was born May of 2012. Bylaws were written. Everything was on the up and up. The very first company that helped us from day one on the back end figuring things out was Drew Estate. Drew Estate helped us to become a nonprofit organization. About 2 to 3 years after 2012, we became a 501c3, and pretty much we've been going 10 years plus strong now.
That's amazing. Very glad to hear it. I don't know if you heard the first part of the show. I know you were working and you're trying to get home in time for the interview and get everything settled. One of the things that One Shot and I were talking about prior to is when I was deployed, we would have, it was the very start of the Iraq War. I was part of the initial invasion. And we would have we called it coffee time. Basically, me and my crew chief would brew coffee, and it started out with like one or two people coming in kind of talking about their day, and we just kind of shoot the breeze and decompress. And by the time we left Iraq, we were making coffee for 30 people at a time, including our commander and our first sergeant. So you shipping cigars to deployed soldiers and service members, that's a hugely powerful thing, because now what's happening is service members are chilling out around the campfire for a minute or two, lighting themselves a stogie, decompressing, and talking about their day. And that is the initial and start of treatment for PTSD, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. When I go, very few times I'll go on stage and talk about Cigars for Warriors, but to me, it tries to nip the PTSD in the bud when you're there in the sandbox or wherever you are, and you can decompress with maybe one cigar you get with fellow service members to start that at the very beginning. So what started as a small organization is now based all across the United States. We're in most cigar shops. We're at all cigar events. We're going to be at the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival. So I don't know if you guys are going to be at the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival. We will be set up there again, collecting donations. But within that time period of over 10 years now, we've shipped out over 1.3 million cigars.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. So my hetero life mate here, he does not smoke cigars. However,
Right.
I am an avid cigar smoker. I go through what some would say too many cigars. So it is very relaxing. What are you burning tonight?
I am doing from Drew Estate does what's called the barn smoker in several places. They did it in Florida. They did it in Pennsylvania. They're doing it in Kentucky. They're doing it in Texas. So this is one of the ones I received here. This is the Drew Estate pork belly.
I'm jealous, man. We are in our new super secret location, and there is no smoking in our super secret location. So normally I can get away with burning a cigar on air, but right now I cannot. So until we move to our
Hopefully
new
you guys don't mind.
No, by all means, please light up, have a good time, dude. By all means. I'm a little jealous with that.
What basically what we do is to provide a taste of home, some moral support to these people that, you know, as you know, when you're out in Afghanistan or warship, long-term deployment, something like that, it messes with you. So be able to sit down and do this maybe once a day or once a month, once a year, and decompress. That's what we're all about. Most of us are veterans, and we want to provide some taste of home, some moral support to these men and women. So how it goes down, I don't know if you want me to expand on the care packages and everything, the operational aspects of it.
Our platform is yours. You're talking about
You got it,
whatever
man.
you want.
So, yep, we're based all across the United States in cigar shops. You can actually go, we have a brand new website called cigarsforwarriors.org. On there, you can locate what we call donation center, a cigar shop that's set up somewhere near you where you can drop off as many cigars that you want. You can drop off cash. And believe me, cash is desperately what we need most of the time. We shipped out this past week over 300 care packages. That cost $14.50 to ship out one care packages. So it was over $3,000 of money that we spent to ship out these care packages. Just 1 week. 1 week. We ship out week after week for 10 plus years now. We've shipped out 1.3 million cigars. All the cigars are donated, and all the cash that we received, that's what we used to pay the postage to ship these to the combat troops. That's why we do these events all over the country, being 2,000 people at the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival. Hopefully we get a good amount of monetary donations for that.
Will you be coming out to the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival?
I will not. I'm based in Florida. So the biggest thing also about our organization being a 501c3, we have nobody in our organization that gets a salary. Everybody's a volunteer. So a handful of people get a very small stipend for the work that they have to do in it, because there are some people in our organization that do an outstanding amount of work. So they get a small stipend monthly. But for the rest of it, it's all volunteers on everybody within our organization. As a matter of fact, there's a nonprofit organization, I believe they are also, it's called GuideStar. What GuideStar does, it evaluates all the nonprofit organizations. Cigars for Warriors is rated all the time platinum, the highest level. So that shows transparency of what we receive and what we ship out.
I love
So,
it. So that is outstanding. And we are very familiar with GuideStar.
yep, we're rated platinum, been for the last couple years. So when man or woman, it doesn't matter their rank. This is the biggest thing too. There seems to be some misconception sometimes that when care packages are received from Cigars for Warriors, they're done from rank. That is absolutely false. It doesn't matter what your rank is. How it works with Cigars for Warriors, let's say they're on a warship somewhere. They go on our website, they fill out the information. In our organization, we have a military liaison, actually a major in the military. She verifies that these individuals are in certain locations, because the only thing that we ship to, we don't ship stateside. We only ship to long-term deployments, combat zones, and floats. So our military liaison finds out where they're located at and sends the names after that to myself and Peter Titorio, who lives in New Jersey. We have two locations where we do care packages out of. So when we receive these weekly names, we split them between myself and Peter in New Jersey. And once a week, we're shipping these care packages out to the combat troops. What they get is a big bag here of donated cigars. Believe me, they get everything, anything we receive. We receive stuff, Opus X, which Opus X high-end cigar, or anything else. It might be a lower-end cigar, but every donation we receive goes into these care packages. We have Humidity Packet Boveda in there. They're a corporate sponsor of ours. Cigar Press Magazine is a corporate sponsor of ours. So they do a huge spread all the time about Cigars for Warriors and pictures of the troops that we ship out to them. We have Cigars, corporate sponsor of ours. Cigar shops are corporate sponsors. So when we receive these names as quickly as we can, usually if somebody puts a name in about a week's time, we're going to be shipping out a package to wherever they're located at.
Well, one of the guys who's listening to the show right now was deployed to, I don't know, well, we can say it. He was deployed to Syria at the time, and I reached out to you and you sent a care package, and he had it in under a month. And that gave, so what happens is him and his team, they're at the end of the day, they're sitting around and they cut off and light a stogie, and now they're talking about their day and they're decompressing rather than keeping it all bottled up and keeping it inside them, which gives them, you know, hey, now you return and you're back stateside and you've kept all that together, and it's making your adjustment back to civilian life and back to the world so much harder. You are literally saving lives with what you're doing right now. I know it sounds weird for the listening audience to be like, oh, they're smoking cigars and that's saving lives. Yes. It is. It very much is.
Absolutely. And you can see on a day-to-day basis. So when we send these care packages out, we send an email to these troops. You're getting this care package. By the way, it doesn't cost the troops nothing, absolutely nothing for the troops to receive these. This is all the donated cash and donated cigars that come in that we ship out to the combat troops. Let me back this up a little bit. So we've been doing this since 2012. It used to be that cigar manufacturers could donate cigars to us. It used to be we get just tons of cigars. Back in December of 2015, there was almost a competition going on as to which manufacturer could send the most cigars. I was getting pallets delivered by semi-trucks of cigars. In 1 month time, we received 110,000 cigars in donations.
Sounds like a good problem to have.
Good problem, but then it kind of stopped at that point because unfortunately what happened was the FDA got involved. The FDA stepped in and said, as of 2016, cigar manufacturers can no longer donate cigars to troops, and they can no longer donate cigars to nonprofit organizations that.
You froze up a little bit, Robert. Tell me if you can still hear me.
Got you back. Yep.
Okay, there you are.
So back in 20.
FDA can't donate to nonprofits. Keep talking. Man, what a bummer. Crappy internet sucks. If you can hear us, Robert, keep talking, man. We can hear you. No, not so much. So, folks, if you are not tracking right now, what he said is the FDA passed a law and said that cigar manufacturers can no longer donate to not-for-profits and can no longer donate to the troops. I'd love to know what the reasoning behind that is.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it was for health purposes, or that's how they sold it.
That is super frustrating.
Probably by a bunch of civilians that understand.
Yeah.
There's 22 soldiers killing themselves every day.
Yeah.
And that not being able to decompress and
I spent my day getting shot at, and believe me, a cigar.
Let's
talk about my health. Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully we get Robert back. He just dropped off, but hopefully he's able to dial back in, and we're able to get him back on the air. It looks like we are. Let's see what I can do here. Give me a second. Add to stream. Yep. Robert, you there?
I am here. I'm sorry. It was probably my end here. I opened my door here and kind of connected to a different Wi-Fi. So hopefully we're good on that.
You're okay, man. So we left off. The FDA had passed a law that you can no longer get cigars donated to troops.
Right, exactly. So that was a huge amount of cigars we used to get on month-to-month basis from cigar manufacturers. So back in 2016, we were worrying. At one point, we ran out of cigars. We were done. We didn't have any cigars. Not for long. Everybody stepped up. Cigar shops stepped up. Events stepped up. I mean, at this point now, we don't have issues with getting cigars. It's very, very good on cigars. On a day-to-day basis, you can go on our Cigars for Warriors. We cover most social medias. We do either Twitter, Instagram. Somebody does TikTok for us. So you can see on a day-to-day basis the cigars that we get, the troop pictures that we get. So when, let me jump back also. So when we send these care packages to the combat troops, we send them an email. If possible, please send a picture back to us. That's how they go in these publications. That's how they go on the social media. We couldn't have become as big an organization as we have if it wasn't for the fact that the troops were sending pictures back to us so we could show what we're doing, transparency.
Hey, Robert, I'm not sure if you're able to see on social media some of the messages that listeners are sending in to us right now. One of our very regular listeners who we adore, Joe Allan, asks, are messages to the troops attached with any of the cigars?
If there's anything sent to us, funny you should say that. Usually around Christmas time, we get a lot of people that send us Christmas cards, and we throw them right in the care packages. Our care packages consist mostly of cigar base. It's cigar publications, it's lighters, it's anything like that. But if somebody wants to include notes or anything like that, we put them in the care package also. Because what we use it's bashed, this one. But for everything we use, it's a medium flat rate box is what we use. So wherever we can stick in this medium flat rate box, will go. So
the same listener says, prior to 2016, it was common for makers of handmade cigars to donate cigars to American troops, particularly those serving abroad. But that year, a new set of FDA regulations was passed, including a prohibition on free samples, a restriction that made those charitable donations illegal. Well, Joe is a Marine, so I know he didn't type that. He must have copied and pasted it from somewhere.
He copied and pasted. So that's exactly the situation that we ran into. We were 4 years in organization, and we thought we were done at that point. But everybody has stepped up since then, and it's just crazy. We get a great amount of donations. With the last two years really, really hurt us at an organization. Not the cigar side, it was the cash side, because there was zero events going on. That's how we make probably 80% of our donated cash are through all these events that go on through the U.S. And you have 2 years of no events and us just shipping care package after care package after care package, and the finances start to whittle down.
So again, when my wife thinks that I'm running errands and doing things that are productive, I'm actually probably hiding at the local cigar shop. And here in the Denver metro area, we have a ton of great cigar shops. Including our big supporters is Cigar Bandits, is an online cigar shop. But I spent a lot of time at a place called Casbar Cigars here in Parker, Colorado. And they have a bucket there. And so what I do is every time I buy a cigar, I buy two and I drop one in the bucket. How often do those get sent so that troops are getting, a decent cigar, not one that's been sitting there for a year?
That's a good question. It's really up to when a cigar shop becomes a donation center. It's part of the literature for them. It's on them to ship it back to us, which the address would be coming to myself. So it is really on the Cigar Shop Donation Center to ship it back to myself to disperse those cigars.
So we have a lot of listeners that probably don't smoke cigars and have no but believe in this program. How can they support something like this?
Easiest way, if they don't want to donate cigars or something like that, if they go on to cigarsforwarriors.org, and there is a cash donation link there, which runs through PayPal. If they just want to donate a couple dollars, like I said, it costs $14.50 just to ship out one care package. And each week we ship out 100, 200, 300 care packages. It's the finances that we need to be able to continue this mission.
Can do. So excellent. I also get calls because my friends know that I smoke cigars. I now have 3 humidors in my house, which drives my wife bananas. And people will be like, hey man, I found this, I have this cigar humidor. It's got a bunch of cigars in it. I don't know what to do with it. Can people donate cigars themselves?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. They can look on the website. The address is right there. Just to give you an idea, the address is based out of, I manage a cigar shop here in Ocala. Because I'm there more than I am here at home, the address is the cigar shop, but it says Cigars for Warriors, 2 separate entities, but it comes to myself at the cigar shop. I take them, I actually process them here in my man cave. So when you see the pictures of the donations that are coming through that myself posted, Peter does his in New Jersey, Peter Tutorio. So if you see the pictures, they're about a foot behind me where all these are done. And then I take them to a second location where I have a bunch of great customers at Roz's Cigar Emporium, where I manage. Week after week, we go and we make these care packages.
That's awesome. I mean, not just that you're doing this, but you're definitely in the cigar community.
Yes,
he's like he's in the cigar shop. I'm shipping them to cigars.
Yeah.
I'm going to events. That's awesome.
It's just
Robert,
on a day-to-day. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we post all the letters and the pictures and stuff back. It's just heart to see time and time again where everybody says this is morally uplifting for them wherever they're located, to be able to say they might get, out of a care package of this, they might get 1 cigar and they might not get another care package from us for another 2 to 3 months, but at least to be able to decompress with that 1 cigar, for us, that's our mission.
Like I said, you're saving lives whether you realize it or not. And I hope you realize it. What do you call it? Hey, talk to us about your socials. Where can people find you?
Social media. You can look up Cigars Warriors on Facebook. You can look us up on Instagram. You can look us up on Twitter. We have TikTok videos done. So we're on all the social media day for day. We're posting every donation. Like I said, because of being a platinum, we show everything that's coming in, everything that's going out is all on social media. As soon as we get pictures and notes from combat troops, we throw them up on social media also. What we do need also, besides donations and stuff like that, we can always use any cigar shop to become a donation center. We can always use volunteers all the time to what's called an event coordinator. You might be at a cigar shop, you have a veteran or somebody that's there all the time, but that cigar shop doesn't have anything going on with Cigars for Warriors. They can say, you know what? I want to be an event coordinator and just volunteer a little bit of time to maybe put together a little event or something to be able to raise awareness and maybe some donation.
Excellent. Hey, Robert. So we are just about out of time. I got a few more minutes. Sure. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna give you the platform. We may have skipped over a question. We may have glossed over something that you wanted to say. We may have not given you the right question or not fed it to you the right way, or not given you the chance to say something that you wanted to say. Take the next 2 minutes. The entire platform is yours. The world is listening. You're on internet radio, so you have listeners all over the world right now. Take the next 2 minutes, say whatever you want about Cigar Warriors and messages to the troops.
We have a great team. I can't thank enough the people that are involved with Cigars for Warriors. We've had some people from the very beginning. Sometimes things change. People move in, people move out. They can no longer invest their time with it. But we've had some core people that have been here from the very beginning, myself being one of them, except for maybe about 3 months out from it. So they're great. Cigar shops, if you know any cigar shop or any cigar shop that's listening now, you can go on our website, you can contact us. We'd love to have you as a donation center. It actually will, if you think about it, it'll boost up sales. maybe you'll sell another cigar. Hey, would you like to buy a cigar and put one in this box here for Cigars for Warriors? So it's a win for the soldiers. It's also a win for the cigar shop. They might have some cigars that for some reason they can't sell. They can put them on special. They can say, you get 2, 1, something like that, something for them to think about so that we can provide more of it to the troops. Just these little things. We can always use somebody with maybe some different ideas of how we can provide awareness or donations or anything like that. We do motorcycle runs every now and then, few and far between. We have some golf tournaments coming up. So there's all these different aspects of it. So if anybody can think of anything where maybe they want to donate something or outside the picture of what we normally do where we can raise donations, it would be greatly appreciated. We want to provide cigars to combat troops, long-term deployments for as long as possible. I've been doing it for 10 years. I know our team has been doing it for 10 plus years. There's not a day that I don't get tired of it, seeing these notes from the troops. It's just, it's a work from the heart for everybody involved with this, knowing that this is a volunteer organization and we want to try to nip the PTSD as quickly as possible.
And I lied to you. I know I said that that was going to be your last 2 minutes, but I do have a question before
Please.
I cut you loose. Hey,
go ahead.
Has there been a decrease in requests from the troops since our nation has pulled out of a few different areas of conflict?
At the very beginning, there was, but then it's starting to ramp up again because those troops are being dispersed to different locations. There's even times where I'm not even privy to where we're sending these care packages to.
Okay, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been talking to Robert Allan with Cigars for Warriors. Please, by all means, go onto their social media. Cigars for Warriors on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It sounds like they got people doing TikTok dances now. I assure you when I get off the air, I'm going to put that one up. Oh, we'll get him to do one for you. Don't you worry. He's an amazing dancer. Robert, I can't thank you enough for being a part of From the Ashes Radio on About Face Radio. Whether you realize it or not, you are absolutely saving lives. Please keep it up. Do not falter in your mission.
Thank you very much, and I apologize for the technical snafus.
Oh, dude, we've had much worse. We're getting our feet under us too. You're okay.
Nice to meet you, Robert.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thanks again for being on.
All right, everybody's favorite. I hope she's ready. Allie, you out there? She is.
Hey.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. So how was that little transition? Was that a little better than we've had?
Yeah, but where's my intro? No fanfare, no horns and bugles.
We don't even have that for us quite yet. I just figured out how to use this platform on Friday.
Yeah, so you guys,
and we're better off.
You guys are coming in from like a super secret squirrel location. I'm a little excited.
We are under brick and steel. We are in a super secret bunker right now.
Ooh, fancy.
It is very, very fancy. But because of that, no smoking in the studio. So
yeah, I liked your guest. I have a little soft spot for cigars. I actually started smoking when I was 18 by stealing my daddy's cigars. And then you ship off to boot camp and AIT. And of course, there's no smoking in boot camp, but AIT, we used to, sneak away. And that's where I learned to smoke cigarettes. I was an AIT, smoked my entire time I was in the Army, except when I was pregnant and nursing. And then I quit. And then I went back to grad school. And every now and again, I take a couple puffs of my dad's cigar. But it's just, I don't know, just this weekend, actually, I was in Gettysburg for my birthday on Friday. And I walked into a cigar store, and it was I don't remember what it was called, Battlefield Cigars. It was downtown Gettysburg. It was fantastic, but I ended up buying a few, not for me, but a gift for my guy's dad because he's a cigar smoker. But just that smell, like at first it was like, oh man, like nostalgia. Then I'm like, all right, this is making me kind of queasy. I need to get out of here. But I love what that gentleman is doing. It's fantastic. Good for him.
We do too.
Also, did Allie just ask us to sing or just sing her happy birthday?
Did she? That's what I thought I heard. Yeah, well, hang on. Let me check the record. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly
okay, so, good. I'll count you in. 5, 6.
To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Allie. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
30th birthday. I can't believe it. Very impressive.
Yeah.
29 and one more year before the big 3-0.
Is this the 3-0 or is this the 29?
This is 29.
My
No.
28. Yeah.
I turned
I know
38.
that knees on the screen, but somebody's gonna say, "Hey, why is that lady showing her boobs?"
Oh no, these are my knees. These are my knees. I'm not wearing pants. These are my knees.
Hey, me neither.
No, I'm not wearing pants at all. Yeah, no, listen, it's late. I'm tired. Okay, so let's talk about I haven't really put out too much material because I got a lot of things going on, but I did do a video about secondaries. And this seems to be I don't know why veterans aren't grasping this. If you are already compensated for an injury or an illness, and something else happens because of that injury and illness, that is called a secondary, and that can be compensated. In order for that secondary to be compensated, you have to first be already rated for the primary, and you need a diagnosis of the secondary. Okay. A lot of veterans will try, and I hate to use this example because I personally will try and talk you out of it. Sleep apnea secondary to PTSD. Okay, I've seen it done. There's not enough medical evidence to show that the two are correlated, but whatever. If you end up developing sleep apnea because of post-traumatic stress, you're going to need a really strong nexus. There isn't enough medical evidence to support it, but whatever, it really depends on your doctor. Another one is if you injure your left leg or your right leg, and now you're overcompensating on the other leg, and that leg becomes jacked up. That new leg is now your secondary. If you're already being compensated for one leg, okay, let's say my right knee, okay, I'm compensated for my right knee because I fell off a Chinook. I'm favoring my left knee now, and my left knee now turns to crap. My left knee is now a secondary. I'm already being compensated for my right. I go to my doctor, say, listen, let's do some x-rays. He says, yeah, you have, I don't know, whatever, torn ligament, whatever. That right knee is now compensated, okay? And you can actually, that's how you increase your percentages from 30, 40, 50, 60. You can get the bilateral factor. So all your secondaries, guys, like this is where the money is. Don't neglect your secondaries. Flat feet, your flat feet, which causes your ankles to be weird, which causes your knees to be weird, which throws your hips out of whack. All those things that stem from your flat feet are secondaries. Claim them, okay? Illnesses, God forbid. I file a lot of colon cancer and prostate cancer, okay? You get prostate cancer while you are, and it's compensated, okay? While you are fighting your cancer, you can get a temporary 100% while you convalesce. If you have a surgery where you are forced to convalesce, the VA will pay you 100% temporarily while you convalesce, okay? But you have to be rated for what that surgery is. So let's say I have a torn ligament in my knee, whatever, and I can't walk for 6 months. The VA will give me 100%, but you have to file for it. It's not automatic, but they will pay you temporarily 100% while you convalesce. Okay. So you have prostate cancer, God forbid, and you get your prostate removed, and now you are incontinent. Now you have erectile dysfunction. God forbid you had something happen and now you have a colostomy bag. All those things that stem from that one illness are secondaries and can be claimed. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Because I get this all the time. Claim your secondaries, but you have to be rated for the first, and you have to have a diagnosis for the secondary. Okay, I'm not answering any more questions about this. And lastly, I'm not taking any new appointments. I had a bunch, because we have a new town manager in, and my claims are back. Well, they're not backed up, but I'm pretty busy, so I'm not taking any new claims out of state. Okay, if you're local and you can visit me in Foxborough, absolutely, I'll sit with you. But I had, and this kind of just ticks me off a little bit. I had a veteran call my office today, and you guys know that I don't answer the phone. My assistant answers the phone because if I do, it's always, hey, I got a quick question, and they're never quick. So the veteran calls looking to make an appointment. And my assistant said, Liz, are you local? And he says, no, I'm from Alabama. And she goes, well, I'm very sorry. Allie is not taking any out of state appointments. And he's like, well, she told me to call a few months ago. And Lauren said, well, yes, that was a few months ago, but she's not taking any new appointments now. And the guy literally hung up on her. And that just pissed me off so much. Like, I'm doing you a favor. You guys don't pay my bills. I don't charge you a single dime to file a claim. I'm doing this on my own time. You guys don't pay me. I am doing this literally because I honest to God give a shit, because there is so much false information in the veteran community. And if I can help one veteran, just one veteran, file a claim and get their property taxes taken care of, I've done my job. But to call my office and be rude to my assistant, who is like the sweetest person on earth, that's just unacceptable. I just don't do that. Don't call my office and get pissed off at my assistant because I told you to call me 3 months ago and you didn't. That's on you. You guys have to take responsibility. And I say this all the time. Some of you guys cannot get out of your own way. You have to do your own research. I cannot do.
Was it?
I'm sorry?
That wasn't one of our listeners, was it?
I don't know. He didn't say. Maybe, I don't know. I know he found me on social media, because where else would somebody from Alabama know about me? But yeah. So, and it just goes for anything in life. Like, be nice to people. You never know when you're gonna need them. You never know when you're gonna encounter them again. You know what I'm saying? But back to being responsible. You got to take accountability for your actions, you guys. Like somebody said today, if you I made a video saying, hey guys, like, I appreciate you guys trust me and you listen to what I have to say, but I give you just enough information so you guys can go out and search, because I don't have all the answers. And I don't have time to give you all the answers, because VA disability claims, they are in depth, they are comprehensive. I'm giving you enough information to be like, oh wait, does this apply to me? Let me look. VA.gov has all the answers, I promise. Okay. So somebody commented and said, well, if you're only giving us half answers, what good are you? And I'm like, well, shit, nobody told you to be here. Nobody told you to follow me. And obviously I've answered a bunch of your questions. So go do your own research. Like, you guys, there's so much knowledge out there, but be careful. Don't listen to the guy sitting at the bar. Which is funny, because a couple weeks ago, I literally was sitting at a bar and a group of veterans walk in. They were having this little mini reunion, and they were talking about the VA stuff. And I'm sitting there and he's like, no, I don't use the VA. I have 3 deployments. And I'm like itching. And my boyfriend was with me and I'm looking at him. I'm like, I'm going to give him my card. And he's like, all right. So he gives out his cards. And I'm like, hi, you guys don't know me. My name's Allie. I'm the director of veteran services of the town of Foxborough. You should be using the VA. So I gave them all my cards and they all emailed me and I got them all taken care of. But goddamn, go use the VA, please. Use the VA.
You and I have talked at length offline from this show about creating that whole setup, Rate My VSO.
Yeah.
Today, I created the Facebook page. It's not published yet because I'm going to run it past you, and you and I are going to work on this together. But yeah, so that guy in Alabama does not have to call the VSO in Massachusetts to get the help that he needs. So we're going to create that. We're going to get this ball rolling. Rate My VSO. It's going to look like Yelp, and you're going to talk about the good VSOs and the bad VSOs.
Yeah,
there's some good ones and there's some bad ones.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course, not every VSO is created equal, but I don't want this to turn into a bashing session, because a lot of VSOs, well, not in Massachusetts, because we really are the best VSOs in the country, because we have VSOs in every city and in every town. The rest of the country has them by county. So your VSOs, if they're not in the good old boys club, they're overworked and underpaid. So have a little bit of compassion with your VSOs if you live anywhere outside of Massachusetts. But at the same time, if you've emailed them 3, 4, 5 times, if you've called them 3, 4, 5 times, begging for them to call you back and you have no phone call, like that's bullshit and that's unacceptable. Go to the DAV, which I'm not a fan of either, or the VFW, the Order of the Purple Heart, Wounded Warrior Project. They started doing claims. You have options. Okay. Follow my TikToks. As stupid and dumb as they are, and these stupid little dances, whatever. The information is good. There's
I was told specifically to get TikTok, even if I only get it to watch your videos, and so I think you're the only person I'm following.
Oh, you follow me? Oh, I'm honored. Yeah, no, so, like, guys, I don't take myself seriously. Like, it's stupid, right? And my boyfriend calls them TikToks, and I'm like, oh my god, the TikToks. I know they're dumb, right? They're dumb. I know they're dumb, right? I'm not trying to win any popularity contest, but if you look through the comments, you'll see like, hey, you took me from 30 to 80. You took me from 0 to 100, because the information is good. The dances are just there to get your attention. You know, the short skirts, they're just there to get your attention. And then once I have your attention, like, oh shit, I can get property tax abatement. Oh my God, I can get adaptive housing equipment. That's all I'm doing. Oh, they're dumb. They're dumb. I know they're dumb. I don't like toot my own horn here, but the information is good.
Whatever it takes for people to get the information. Yeah, exactly. If that's what it takes, I'm down.
My
with it.
next step is going to be OnlyFans, right? I'm going to start showing my shoulders and be like, "Hey guys, did you know?" You know what I mean? Because I'm so sick.
You can go for your baby. That's absolutely awesome. Here's my butthole and a whole bunch of information.
I'm not doing that for free though. Listen,
Oh,
there's
Allan,
no
you just got the view. All of you just got the view that I've been getting all night. Allie, so we're almost out of time with you. Before we cut loose, did you want to save talking about the PACT Act for next week, or did you want to take a minute or two and talk about it now?
Yeah, no. So lots and lots of new presumptives that and I'm seeing a lot of these, and I've had to deny a lot. I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry you have, esophageal cancer. It's not a presumptive." Well, like now it is. Tons of cancers, and they used to be really specific. There's a lung cancer, and they broke it down to two different types of a lung cancer, but now they scrubbed it. Now it just says lung cancer. So I have to do a little bit of reading. But MGUS, if you are a Vietnam veteran, please tell your Vietnam veterans this, because 2 weeks before the PACT Act went or was approved, I had to tell like a dying Vietnam veteran that his MGUS, which is whatever it stands for, is not presumptive, and he was completely covered in Agent Orange, and it passed. And so I'm calling him, I'm like, "Hey, MGUS is now a presumptive. Come in and file." I just hope he doesn't die before he gets compensated. So for any veteran who is an Agent Orange and you are diagnosed, or you know somebody diagnosed with MGUS, please know that that is the newest presumptive. So please file a claim. But let's talk about, I'm going to need like 20 minutes next week, if you don't mind, because I want to run down all the new presumptives and healthcare, the caregivers disaster that's going on. So give me 20 minutes next week if possible.
Why don't we make it 30? We'll end our interview a little bit early, and we'll let you spend as much time as you want talking about the PACT Act. Does that sound fair?
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, excellent. Allie, thank you so much for being a part of From the Ashes Radio on About Face Radio, and we really appreciate your time on your Monday night.
I know you do. I appreciate you guys.
Allie's never full of herself at all.
And I'm not wearing pants, so yay.
So,
Beginning of my OnlyFans. So.
Exactly. Allie, thanks a lot for being a part of the show. Can't
I
wait to talk
appreciate you guys.
about the PACT show. PACT
Be
Act.
good. Bye.
No.
Bye.
Bye, Allie.
All right, so there we go. What do you call it? Normally, this is the time where we do what's called tribute to the troops, and we and EJ sent me one for us to broadcast, and I'm sure I can figure that out, and blah 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 blah. But this morning, I saw you post about some friends that gave their lives in 2007. Did I see? Are you interested in talking about that? If you're not, I completely understand. But if you want to talk about them for a few minutes, we can take that time. If you don't, I totally get it.
I was thinking about bringing this up to you, so I'm going to pull this up real quick just so that I don't, in a moment of emotion.
While he's pulling it up, folks, if you have someone that you would like us to talk about, a service member who is no longer with us for whatever reason, please send their name to us. We want to remember those people that you served with. So, and we will honor them and we will remember them. Their names are important. So go ahead, bud.
So I started off my career immediately going to a recon platoon and a sniper section. And in 2007, there was a tragic event. 22 August 2007. So today's actually the 15 year of it. There's a helicopter accident, and these are the 10 guys in my old platoon that were KIA. Captain Dobo guy, Staff Sergeant Peyton, Sergeant McLeod, Corporal Bufford, Corporal Brodnick, Corporal Harmon, Corporal Hubbard, Specialist Hook, Specialist Pollard, and Specialist Simon. Never forgotten.
All young men you served with? Part of your sniper section, you said?
Yes.
And you said helicopter accident, but it was shot down, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm just going to say it was a helicopter accident.
Okay.
The captain was actually my my XO at one point. He was my platoon leader at one point. And a really, really good friend of mine. So
You had a lot of corporals in that section, huh?
yeah,
That's a lot of corporals. That's the most corporals I've ever heard of.
right. I believe a lot of them were posthumously promoted from specialist to corporal.
Oh, is that what it was? Yes. I want to be alive for my promotion, so yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, that sucks a lot to hear, man. That was that was in Iraq or Afghanistan. Where was that?
Iraq.
That was Iraq. So 15 years ago. I'm sorry, and I know that doesn't fix anything, but we know how that goes. So yeah, their names are not forgotten. They will live in memoriam. And we say this all the time. When you and I talk about things like this all the time, it's always, I know, especially on a day like today, I try to remember that I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to know those people rather than saddened by the fact that they're no longer with us. You know, we've served with some of the greatest men on the planet, men and women on the planet. And
Absolutely.
so to have that opportunity is priceless. And we all volunteered and we know what we were getting up for and the opportunity to do our job. And, you know, some of us gave our lives in defense of our nation. So I'm sorry. And their names will never be forgotten. And so we're coming to the end of the show here, folks. What'd you learn today?
I've learned about secondaries, and you know what's funny is I've been thinking about those.
The knee thing is what
the knee thing is what made me think about it, because last week or week before last, I'm in PT, and they're like, "God, it looks like you're actually having more issues with your left right now." I'm like, "Yeah, my left's my bad knee, my right's my good knee. It's just the good knee's injured, so now the bad knee's doing worse because the right knee is not able to, keep me going." So anyway, I have some knee issues right now, and hopefully I get cut sooner than later, and I get back to road recovery. But yeah, the secondary thing I believe is very important for a lot of service members, because I know how that trickle down thing works.
Well, so the hip thing started for me with, I have a good friend who listens to the show, whose music we're going to start highlighting on this show. His name is Steve Valancourt, and he and I talked on Sunday. I sat on the tailgate of my truck, smoked a cigar at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and talked to him. Excuse me. And we were talking about how his knee was bothering him, and he went in to get looked at, and it wasn't his knee, it was his hip. And he ended up getting his hip replaced, and he went in there for knee pain. And he was like, "I was not expecting that." And so, yeah, now 1,000 times better. So yeah. I learned a ton of stuff about Cigars for Warriors. I thought I knew all about this organization. What a great organization.
I love what they do. I am not a cigar guy just because I get it. I just don't smoke cigars, but I love what they're doing and the concept. It doesn't matter what the actual item is what I think of. Just giving that moment of, I get, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Let it out.
Giving that in any shape, way, or form, whatever mode of transportation to get there is. I agree. See that cigar is the mode of transportation in that situation. It's just amazing. And they're doing it on a big scale.
1 million cigars.
Over 1.3 million cigars.
Do you know how happy I would be if a truck full of pallets of cigars showed up at my house? Do you know what would happen to my marriage? It would crumble in a second. I'm out.
Yeah. I take it she doesn't like cigars.
She despises them.
Okay.
So when we were taking my truck to driving my truck for the weekend, and I had to take it in and get it all cleaned and detailed, and buy a whole bunch of new deodorants and stuff for it to get the cigar smell out of the truck before she would ride in it.
Did she still notice the cigar smell?
No. I'm very good. There's a lot of stuff you can get that will take the cigar smell out of your vehicle.
Okay.
But yeah. So before our show ends, I want to highlight a few key little points. First of all, everyone that's donating things like tools to our program, the folks with WTF Radio have donated a ton of boom mic stands and things like that. Jake Swedensky is now donating a 12-channel mixer to us so we can get this up and off the road. Guys like Robert Balaker are donating microphones and things like that just to get us up off the ground so we can get this ball rolling. I can't thank you folks enough for all the things that you're donating in order to make this happen. Listen to WTF Radio. Go to About Face Radio, and you'll hear, and as well as J Moon Radio, and you'll hear Firehouse Radio, The Vault. Go check out Philip Blackman's show. By all means, go check out Philip Blackman's show.
That is an awesome show.
I love his show. Please go give him a listen. But before we go out tonight and call it a night, this weekend there was that seminar at Zenith Authentic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. For those that have never done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I know you see online and whatnot, and everybody jokes around like, oh, Bobby's been doing karate for 2 years and he's already got his black belt. Well, good for you, Bobby. That's because karate sucks. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you start off as a white belt, and it's going to be probably 2 years before you earn your next belt. And you have to really prove some things in order to get to that blue belt level. Once you get your blue belt, that's when you become, there's no other way to say it, you are the punching bag. You are where everybody tests their new moves because you've got enough knowledge to kind of defend yourself. And blue belt is where people start to you learn to defend yourself, and you become a punching bag. There's no other way to say it. And I should be letting you have this conversation, tell this story. Purple belt is where you start to develop who you are and whatnot and figure out what you're actually doing. Brown belt, you've been doing it probably 10, 12 years if you're getting a brown belt at that point. And a black belt, when you earn your black belt, they call you professor. You are no longer called coach. You are called professor. And that is because you have basically earned yourself a PhD in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Well, this weekend, a bunch of people that I love and adore earned themselves some very big promotions. So my friend Royce, a huge congratulations to you on your brown belt.
Also
There's
veteran.
no one more deserving. Also a Navy veteran.
He's only Navy, but
but we'll look past it.
we'll look past that.
My friend Cole, congratulations on your belt. Perry, I have not met you yet, but congratulations. Also a veteran.
And we can't say the other one right now.
Yeah, we can't say the other one.
But yeah, Perry was also in the Navy. I can't wait to make him listen to this. That means he's a crack. So
yeah, if you these are things that can't be taken away from you. You have earned them at that point in your life. And it is irreplaceable, the things that you have learned and the things you have earned. So congratulations to all of you that earned yourself a promotion this weekend at Zenith Authentic Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I could not be more proud to call you a friend and a teammate. So, and that's it. What do you got?
I got nothing. I think we covered all of the covered all the subjects, crossed all the T's,
dotted the
dotted
I's.
the I's.
And I got figured out the commercials, so we're getting a little bit better.
We are. I feel like this was much better than us last week.
Next week, we will have our 12-channel mixer. We will have Brandon back, and it will look even more professional than it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, this will be downloaded to Anchor FM. You can listen to it on Spotify, iHeart, and Apple Podcasts probably tomorrow morning after I'm done uploading everything. But thank you very much for listening to From the Ashes Radio on About Face. Please feel free. We are a nonprofit now. We appreciate your support. But hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here.